Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my Victober 2024 TBR. So I'm really excited for this. This is one of my favorite readathons. I always, every year, thinking about all the Victorian books that I get to read, although I should really read more during the year. We're going to work on that. But this year is the 9th year that this has been going on. This will be my 8th year participating, so I'm really excited about it. There are, of course, group prompts and things, but this is a readathon where you could just read one work of Victorian literature and you're participating. So this is books that are, or literature that was published between 1837 and 1901 during Queen Victoria's reign. So again, I have way too many options. So I'm first going to go through the main prompts and what are like my actual, well, the TBR I think I'm going to stick to, and then I'll have a lot of options of things I might pick up else. I also might pick up, who knows, or I might switch out, and one of those things. So the sorry, I forgot to say this, is Victober is put on by Katie at Books and Things, Kate Howe, Marissa at Blatantly Bookish, and Roz at Scalladalian about the books. So I will have their announcement videos listed below because each of them have a prompt, and then they kind of go through a lot of different options for those prompts. So some of these I picked due to those videos, or just off my shelf, most of these. So I'm really excited for this. Obviously, I'm just so giddy. I just want to start reading it. I still have a couple days before October. Anyway, so Katie's challenge is to read a book that plays with form in some way. So I had a couple options that she mentioned, even some that I've ordered that have not arrived yet. We'll see if they actually show up. But the book that I did buy, and this is the only one I bought for Victober this year that's here, that for sure I'm going to read, and that is Aurora Leigh by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. So this is a novel in verse, so it is like a really long poem. It has to do with, what is it says, extends from the slums of London to the upper classes. And I think it's just talking about things about what people see and stuff. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I have no idea. I don't read much poetry nor long form poetry in any way. So I picked this up, and I've been dying to read this. And because this is not in a novel form, it's written in verse, I figure that was one of the options to do this and to read something different. So that one I'm going to do for that prompt. Then Kate's prompt is to read a book where religion is a component, and most Victorian literature has some component of religion, so this is a pretty easy prompt to find something. But I picked Framling Parsonage, Parsonage by Anthony Trollope. So this is book 4 in the Barsetshire series. I have kind of give it a love and hate thing so far with this series, but I want to finish it, and I need to get through book 4. There's 6 books in the series, and they just get bigger and bigger. Anyway, I don't know anything about this part of the series, except it has to do with a young clergyman with who has ambitions beyond his small country parsonage of Framling. So I don't know where it goes from that. I'm just going to give it a chance. I actually accidentally own 2 audiobooks for this, so I have a choice when I try them to see which one I'll listen to. I'm not sure how that's going to go. Again, as I said, I've liked some of it and not liked some of other things about it. So we'll see what happens. But I really want to finish this series before I start onto some of his other his standalones and stuff. I want to like Trollope. I'm just not sure if he's for me, but I am going to read that book for one that deals with religion. And then I have 2 books for Marissa's prompt. Actually, a lot of books that I have complete for this, because hers is to read something that was published serially. So a lot of times during the Victorian age, a lot of books were published in magazines or in journals or like newspapers and stuff. So they were published, you had to wait for the next chapter kind of thing. So of course I picked Dickens for this one. So I, as one of my options. So Oliver Twist is a book I tried a couple of years ago and I did not get through it. So I'm hoping this year to actually finish this so I can pick another Charles Dickens book to focus on maybe next year. So I think this is pretty iconic. I don't need to explain much, but I do remember it going in ways I didn't expect. It was one of those books that like I got into, but I got distracted or things happened and changed. I got about 124 pages in, but I'm going to restart it because it has been several years. And this has been, this is a book that I've been meaning to read for a while. And then I also, for serially published, I'm going to do The Beetle by Richard Marsh, which came out the same year as Dracula and actually outsold it. So it's not a book that a lot of people talk about, but it sounds really interesting. I, again, read about 122 pages of this one and then put it down for some odd reason. I don't know. I don't remember if something happened or what, but I want to finish this one off too. So this one has to do with a politician who somehow is getting haunted by the beetle, who is some kind of ancient Egypt creature. So I remember enjoying it and thinking, oh, this is kind of weird. But I want to get through that as well. So those are, I have 2 prompts. Those ones I definitely want to get to because they're books that I've started before, but I want to restart and read. And then the last prompt of the main prompts is Roz's, which is read, watch, or listen to a Victorian play. So I am going to attempt for a second time to read The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. So I did try to read this, I don't know, last year, the year before, whatever year we had to do Oscar Wilde and try to read one of his plays. I don't remember what it was, but this is one I want to attempt again. I found an audiobook on Libby that has a cast. So I think that'll be kind of cool to listen to the play, with different voices and stuff. So we're going to try that because those are not the kind of audiobooks I normally like. Like, I don't like I don't like the graphic novelizations of books. For some reason, that doesn't do anything for me. But again, since it's a play, it'll be more realistic, I think, or make more sense. Anyway, we're going to try that. I really want to read The Importance of Being Earnest. Everybody talks about it, but I didn't enjoy it enough to finish it last time. So we will see what happens. I'd like to read that. And then there is a group read, The Doctor's Wife by Mary Elizabeth Braddon, that everybody is joining in on that wants to, and I'm not going to do that this year. I have not yet read Lady Otley's Streaker, so I need to read that one first. So that's one of my, I might get to that at some point. Someday I'll get to that sensational novel. But I think The Doctor's Wife has something to do with Madame Bovary, either a response to or is kind of a retelling of it. I'm not quite sure how that all works. But I haven't read Madame Bovary either, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get to it someday, but not right now. So I'm not doing that prompt. But there are 2 other prompts that are in honor of 2 booktubers who are very big into Victorian literature that I followed fairly closely, and very sad that both of them passed away suddenly, both this year. Jennifer Brooks and Alice at the Giant Bookshelf. And their prompts are for Jennifer Brooks to read something by Wilkie Collins, and for Alice to read something by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, because those are their favorite Victorian authors. So for Jennifer Brooks, I might pick up The Haunted House by Charles Dickens. Now, I know it says Charles Dickens here, but this is written by several authors. One of them being Charles Dickens writes a chapter, and then some other people write some chapters. And then there's one by Wilkie Collins and Elizabeth Gaskell. So I was kind of thinking about picking this one up. So we'll see. It's kind of like one of those things where they write different stories. I don't know if they're all connected. I'm not sure anymore. But I might read that. So that's for that prompt. And then Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I've finished Sherlock Holmes last year, so I don't have any of those. And I've read The Lost World. The only other one I own on my shelf is The White Company by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And so this is a book is a historical adventure from the 100 Years' War. And so I don't know whole bunch about this. I do want to get to this. I just haven't yet. So I might try to pick this up or maybe not, but this is my option if I have time and feel up to it. Okay. So the main TBR are these books is Aurora Leigh, Framling Parsonage, Oliver Twist, The Beetle, and then The Importance of Being Earnest. So that's my main TBR. Like those for sure are the high priority. And then I have a whole bunch of things that I'd like to get to. I would like to read Barney the Vampire by James Malcolm Reimer. Now, I don't mean like finish it. I have an audiobook that is like half of this or a quarter of this. I'm not sure. It's not very far into it. It doesn't look long enough. But this was serialized, and it was a penny dreadful. This copy the print is teeny tiny. But I would like to try it, at least listen to the audiobook or read it however I see fit to do it. And again, this was a penny dreadful. This is about a vampire and he just wreaks havoc. So I would like to get to that one. I also kind of would like to try to read Margaret Oliphant again. And I had read The Rector, maybe first or second year that I did Victober. And I never came back to her, but I found this bind up of the first three little stories in is it Carlingford series? I think that's what it is. It's there's some kind of series, and I can't remember what the name of it was, but I have some of the other bigger novels that come afterwards, and I think I'm missing one or two of them, but I have two at least. And so I'd like to try her again. She was very prolific wrote quite a bit, making money by writing. And I think she was Queen Elizabeth's favorite author. Anyway, I would like to try to read these three short novellas in order to get back to try this series and try to read that. Because I don't remember. I read The Rector, but I don't remember it like at all. And then another book I've tried before and haven't finished is Elizabeth Gaskell's Gothic Tales. I got, when we had it as the group read one year, I got as far as 100 pages in here. So I got past the Poor Clare and a couple in the Old Nurse's Tale story and some others, but I didn't finish it. So I want to finish it. So I want to do those Gothic Tales during October. That sounds fun. And I also have this little novella, The Moorland Cottage by Elizabeth Gaskell, that I've heard about, but I didn't have it printed anywhere. So it's a really kind of cheap version I got online, but I would like to read that. I don't know what it's about because it doesn't tell me, but it's short. So those are the more Elizabeth Gaskells I'd like to get to. And then I have three books that are not literature, but they're kind of adjacent. They're nonfiction things. So I have Kilvert's Diary by Francis Kilvert, who was a clergyman during the Victorian period, and it's his diary of stuff, like in his life and stuff. And so it's kind of big, but it also sounds really interesting. So if I want some nonfiction like that, I also have the illustrated letters of the Brontes, the letters, diaries, and writings of Charlotte, Emily, and Anne Bronte. It's collected by Juliet Gardner. This one, I read the Jane Austen one just in July, for Jane Austen July. And it was a good selection, but the editing wasn't all that great in certain places. So we'll see how this one goes. But this one has letters and journals, and then it has a lot of pictures and historical things. I read The Brontes by Juliet Barker earlier this year, and that was a fantastic biography on the Brontes. So I'm still kind of writing from that biography. I want to do a little bit more on them. So I thought I'd read some of their letters and journals, or letters and diaries and other kind of things. And then I might pick up this month, but maybe I'll wait till November, but it's Walking the Invisible, Following in the Bronte's Footsteps by Michael Stewart. So this is a book that is talking about their writings and stuff, and about the area where they lived and stuff. I don't know a whole lot about it. I picked it up because somebody talked about it. This might be more November, but it is a book I want to get to that I might slip in at some point. We'll see. But it just sounds, I'm not reading any of the Bronte novels this year because I have read everything that I could from them, of the novels and, you know, stuff. And obviously I want to try a little bit things before I start my reread of their books. I just haven't done that yet. So those are all the books. And this is too many books that I want to read. But these are the main 5. Is that right? Yes. The main 5 that I'm going to read or focus on. Again, all the rest of these are ones I want to get to. I would love to get to, just timing wise, you know, I might not get to everything, but they're options. I could read them all. Well, no, I won't. I'm just kidding. I want to read them all at some point in my life, but it might not all be right now. So anyway, what are you reading for Victober? What are your main books that you are focusing on? Are any of these those? Let me know. If there's anything in here that you think I definitely need to read over everything else, let me know that too. You never know, my mood might take me that way. Anyway, that's it. Me and Cooper, we'll see you guys later. Bye.